There are some Filipinas out there who are looking for lonely and naive foreign men who they can manipulate or set up in what they may see as the long game, in order to get you to give over your money without even realising that you've been manipulated into doing so. You can rest assured that this scam is not as common as the usual quick love scams, where the Filipina will come in hard and fast, ask you for money straight up, and if unsuccessful, will move quickly on to the next foreign guy to try their luck. These Filipinas are far more patient and in it for the long term, because for them, they know the gain later on can be enough to set them up for life if successful. Now, if you're thinking of entering into a relationship with a Filipina, or are already in a relationship, then stop right now and be sure to watch this video to learn how you can be played into giving over your money willingly to a beautiful Filipina. So be sure to stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're dating a Filipina and are looking for peace of mind whether she's genuine or not, then why not check out my friends at Love Guardians, who are experts on cybersecurity with a detective on the ground in the Philippines. Love Guardians will run many checks to give you a solid idea one way or the other. So be sure to check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description. Straight up, I'll say that not every Filipina is out there conducting love scams or looking to benefit from a foreign man. But guys need to realise what some are doing, and I do stress some. Awareness in anything is the key to getting a good outcome, and having a relationship with a woman from the Philippines is no different. If we remain aware and vigilant without becoming too paranoid, then we're setting ourselves up to find a good and genuine Filipina for the long term. Learning what scams are out there and how to identify them is essential for any foreign guy prior to even searching. On this channel, I've covered many types of love scams going on in the Philippines, and in fact, I have a dedicated playlist around this that you may like to check out after this video is finished. Now, here's the thing. I've seen many guys who are seemingly in a relationship with a Filipina, mostly online where they've never met in person. And some of these guys have been in this relationship for not months, but years. On the surface, everything seems fine to these guys, but the reality is totally something else. Many of these guys are so busy with their own lives in their country that they fail to find the time to watch YouTube videos such as this, or to do any research to find out the differences between a genuine and non-genuine Filipina. These guys become infatuated with this younger and very beautiful Filipina that they become blind to what her real motive is as she silently manipulates him. She's not bold enough to come right out in the first few days, weeks, or even months and ask him for money, because she knows the game very well and she knows exactly how to play it in order to get the big dollars as time goes by. Think about it like this. Would you rather be chasing after 50 foreign guys for smallish amounts of money, or concentrate on a few guys for the longer term where you know in the end that you'll own land, a house, and maybe also a business? Because that's what these type of women are banking on. They pit their skills of manipulation and emotional blackmail against you, and they can be very good at this to the unsuspecting foreigner. And one can be sure that while some of what they may tell you online and in video calls is true, much of what they tell you won't be true. She could be very well married with kids, but she's telling you that she's single and that you're the love of her life. And as I say, she'll be rather convincing, and you over time will start to believe this because you haven't been paying attention to all the red flags that would have been rather obvious to most people. Or you're so caught up in your own life that you really just haven't prepared yourself the way that you should have. And this can be, and often is, a rather costly thing to neglect. In essence, you see, she's the hunter and you're the prey. She puts her feelers out there, specifically searching for a guy that ticks all her boxes for rather an easy score. Things like being an older foreigner who's busy with work or perhaps very lonely after retirement that is rather in a hurry or desperate to find a woman who'll accept him for his age, looks and other deficiencies that he may have. She will know, to her, that a retired foreigner can be a gold mine. He's finished his working life and most likely has good savings and also a regular government pension. She knows that if she plays her cards right, then she'll get much of his savings without even really asking for it directly. And he'll be in fact the one to offer up the money while naively thinking it was all his idea. When in fact, for many months and maybe even years, she was working her magic on him in the background and he never once saw it coming until it was too late. People watching this right now may say, how can that happen, and almost be in disbelief. But I assure you that not only can it happen, but certainly it does happen and has been going on for many years. It may not be as common as the quick money love scams, but I believe in recent times with COVID and many people having far more time on their hands, this type of love scam is gaining in popularity among Filipinas and as a way of setting themselves up for life. But yes, she does need much patience and she knows that she has time on her side. What she'll do from the start is to get to know you like most other Filipinas do when they first meet someone. She will, however, have a pretty good story scripted in her mind that most likely she's used before, so that way she isn't divulging too much about her own real life. She may, however, give you her real name and even the town or city she lives in. You may even get to know her family members online. Whether or not these family members know what's really going on is debatable. Perhaps some do and some don't. Or maybe she tells them that you're her boyfriend but never mentions her real intentions. She'll work hard over the many months to build your trust in her up, and she'll tell you that she doesn't wish to go and live in your country and is very happy where she is because she has family, friends and a life there that she would miss terribly. So because of this, you may decide that when it's time for you to retire, that you'll go and live with her in the Philippines, or perhaps this was your retirement plan all along. But right here is where the manipulation towards her ultimate goal can really kick in. This is her opportunity to target you emotionally, to make you think that you couldn't possibly take her away from her family and friends because this could be devastating to her. And being a nice, caring and loving person, you're happy to go and set up a life with her in the Philippines so everyone can be happy for a lifetime. Well, hold on. Not so quickly here. At some point, as your retirement plan to move to the Philippines starts to get a little closer, she'll start to pique your interest much more. She may talk to you about planning in advance so everything will be set up for when you arrive, and that way it will be far less stress or worry for you. To an unsuspecting foreigner, this all sounds very loving and considerate, and so these guys naively agree and get her to source out a block of land. She will do this and send him many pictures, telling him what a great buy the land is and how much she loves him and can't wait to start their life together. And of course, he'll not see the obvious dangers and send her the money to purchase this land that they'll build their apparent love nest on. Some may be so naive that they don't even realise that the land will only be in her name because a foreigner can't legally own land in the Philippines. And now that she has the land, it's time to get him to offer to build a house, which is rather easy for her to do, and in fact, He won't take much convincing because he's all excited about his new life with her, which is quickly approaching. So she may now mention to him about some family members or friends who are builders and can build the house for a bargain price. And of course, he'll only see the great savings and how this will help out her family members with some work. It all seems, well, at least to him, all very above board and the right thing to do. So throughout every stage of the build, he'll send her money, and yes, the house will get built. And at each stage, she'll send him photographs to keep him interested and excited, whilst imagining his new life there in this house with his young, beautiful girlfriend in paradise. Ah yes, it all sounds such an amazing retirement and life. But what is about to come will devastate him emotionally and financially to the very core. The house is now complete and sitting nicely on a block of land. He sent her more money to paint the house and put all the coverings and furnishings in. Who knows how much of his retirement money he has spent, but commonly it could be many tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands. So it's a big chunk of money by most people's standards, and certainly from someone about to retire. Now, as the time approaches for him to leave, he may very well sell up his home and many assets, furniture, etc. where he lives in preparation to start his new life in the Philippines. If he's real lucky, she'll break things off with him before he sells it all. Some of these Filipinas may not want him coming to where she's now living with her family in the house and land that he bought, as that may cause some trouble. So they may choose to make up a reason for not continuing the relationship, or in some cases, she may tell you straight out that she has now got what she wanted from you, with no apparent shame as she tells you. Now, what is this guy to do? He's spent much of his retirement money, perhaps sold everything in his country, and will struggle to start over again at his age. All while the Filipina and her family are sitting pretty and will be comfortable for the rest of their lives. And not once did she even need to ask for money. She played the gullible foreign guy like a fiddle, who was so blinded by the young Filipina that he could see none of the obvious signs of what was going on. Remember, many of these guys have never even met the Filipina, and to me at least, that's the first rule in having a relationship with a woman from the Philippines. Do not send money, and especially large amounts of money, until you've met in person and spent a good amount of quality time together, where you can gauge for yourself if you believe that she's genuine or not. And never start a relationship with a Filipina until you've done all the necessary research around Filipinas, her family, culture, religion, country, and of course the various love scams and how to identify them. Not doing your research and due diligence is like throwing yourself into an ocean full of hungry sharks and not expecting to be eaten alive. You can be very sure that these things do happen, and I often wonder how many guys are too embarrassed to tell of such stories, so perhaps the numbers could be higher than we expect or know. Remember, just because she doesn't come out and ask you for money, or just because you guys have been together online for a year or two, or even 3, doesn't mean you can be careless with your money and future. Now look, I know the feelings seem to be very real, and perhaps for you they are, but one can't truly know what's in another person's heart until they spend much time together, where you'll not only see it day in, day out, but you'll also feel it. For more valuable free information and tips around Filipina love scams, be sure to check out the playlist on screen now. And be very sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.